You know that feeling, right? When you cancel plans and instead of guilt, you just feel this wave of pure, incredible relief? Well, if that's you, you're in exactly the right place. We're about to get into why that feeling is just so powerful.
Okay, let's see if this sounds familiar. There's a certain kind of person out there who makes plans, but then as the day gets closer, they find themselves staring at their phone, typing out that classic text, you know the one, "Hey, so sorry, something came up."
And the second they hit send, there's no guilt, no FOMO, no feeling of missing out. Instead, what they feel is
Relief. Just this deep, quiet exhale. It honestly feels like you just dodged a bullet, even if you can't name what that bullet was. And that exact feeling, that's what this is all about.
Okay, so let's dig into that feeling of relief. Because, let's be real, it's not just about wanting to throw on your comfy pants and watch TV. It's something way, way deeper than that. So what if that relief isn't just about resting? What if it's actually about a sense of safety? You know that little voice in your gut that says staying home isn't just the easy choice, it's the safe choice? And this is where it gets really interesting. This feeling, this whole pattern, it's not some kind of character flaw. It's actually your brain's secret logic at work. It's running a program that it thinks is incredibly smart. And this totally reframes the whole conversation, right? On the outside, people might see it and think, oh, they're just lazy, or antisocial, or maybe even broken. But what's really going on under the hood, it's a learned protective system. A system that's actually trying to keep you safe based on everything it's learned. I mean, think about it. Your brain is basically a super powerful prediction machine. It's constantly logging everything. Every awkward conversation, every time you felt judged, every time you felt like you didn't belong, it all gets filed away. And after a while, your brain might look at all that data and just conclude, you know what? The outside world is just too risky. It's too unpredictable. So all of this leads us to the core idea here, the engine that drives this whole thing. It's a psychological concept called the avoidance loop.
And this is the trap, right here. You avoid a situation that stresses you out, maybe a party or a meeting. And what happens? You feel immediate relief. And your brain, well, it loves that feeling. It basically gives itself a little gold star and says, hey, that worked. Let's remember to do that again next time.
The whole process is actually pretty straightforward. Step 1, you face a stressful situation. Step 2, you avoid it. Step 3, you feel that sweet, sweet relief. Step 4, your brain rewards itself for that choice. And step 5, the whole pattern gets locked in, a little stronger each time. It gets to a point where you're not just choosing to stay home, your brain has been trained to. So I want you to really hear this. It's not weakness, it's learning. Your brain has just learned a really effective, at least in the short term, strategy for dealing with what it sees as a threat. It's a perfectly logical adaptation.
But, and this is a big but, there's a tipping point, isn't there? There's a moment when that comfort zone, that safe little refuge, starts to feel less like a choice and a lot more like a cage.
Yeah, there's a huge difference between a refuge and a cage. A refuge is a place you choose to go to recharge. It fills you up. A cage, well, a cage is something you feel stuck in. It drains you, even when you're supposed to be relaxing. The problem isn't staying home. The problem is when you want to go out, but you feel like you just can't. And hey, let's be honest with ourselves. Modern life basically makes it easier than ever to fall into this trap. We've got food delivery, remote work, endless streaming services. We've pretty much removed all the little reasons that used to force us out of the house. We've built the perfect, frictionless cage.
Now, if you take this to its absolute extreme, you get a phenomenon called hikikomori. It was first really identified in Japan, and it's this state of intense social withdrawal. But the really fascinating thing researchers found, it's often not about apathy or laziness. It's driven by extreme sensitivity. It's self-protection turned up to the max.
Okay, so if any of this is hitting home for you, you're probably wondering, what do I do? Well, the path forward isn't about some huge, dramatic change. It's actually much gentler than that. It's all about giving your brain some new data to work with. Just remember, that prediction machine in your head is running on old software, right? It's using old data that told it the world is a dangerous place. So the only way to update that program is to feed it new information, new experiences that are positive or honestly, even just neutral.
And the key here is to start small. Like ridiculously small.
We're not talking about going to a giant party. We're talking about just stepping outside for 5 minutes. Don't worry about reconnecting with all your friends. Just reply to one text. The goal here isn't to be a social butterfly overnight. The goal is data collection. You're just gathering little bits of proof that things can actually be okay.
Which really brings us to the final and maybe most important idea. This whole thing is about figuring out how to feel safe without letting your world get smaller and smaller.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? Comfort can save you, but it can also keep you stuck. That comfort zone, it absolutely served a purpose. It probably protected you when you really needed it. But sometimes, the very thing that saves us can become the thing that holds us back.
So listen, you're not broken. You're not flawed. You've simply adapted to your environment in a really intelligent way. The only question you need to ask yourself now is that adaptation still serving you? Because, look, the goal isn't to throw safety out the window. It's to expand what safe feels like, just one tiny step at a time. The real challenge, the real journey, is to figure out how you can stay safe, but not stay small.